Every time a new Valorant agent gets released, the race to figure out the optimal way to play them is on. The new agent Deadlock has been a little underwhelming in that front. Before Deadlock was released, there were 4 Sentinels: Killjoy, Cypher, Sage and Chamber. The last one really isn't considered much of a Sentinel. Sentinel mains were hoping for an agent that competed with Killjoy and Cypher, mostly Killjoy, as she is one of the most picked agents in the game at the moment. What they got was not this. But first, what makes Killjoy and Cypher so good as Sentinels? They have the ability to lock down a site pretty well by themselves. They have guaranteed info without having to jump peek and put your body on the line. They have great stall potential. They also have strong flank holding potential and lurking ability. So why does Deadlock fail as a Sentinel? Let's go over her utility. First, we have the nade. This forces players to crouch when they're caught in the radius, causing them to have a Cypher-like dart which they have to pull out. If they don't, they are crouching for quite a while. And she has 2 stuns that can be placed on a wall and are activated based off sound, not movement. These do not have a deactivation range. One of her strongest abilities, the wall. The edges take less damage, but the middle takes a hefty amount of damage to destroy, but has a little time like a Sage wall to gain full health. And last of all, her ult, which of course cocoons the nearest player. So, let's look at the abilities in terms of lockdown potential. In this front, Deadlock is not great. She can have great success against rushes due to the sound activated stuns. However, when it comes to contact plays, is where she really lacks. Whereas Killjoy and Cypher counter this due to the alarm bots, the turret and the trips, meaning that you know that they can't creep up or you will get the info at least. Whereas when you're playing Deadlock, you're going to have to jump spot to see if they're creeped up or not. Using her nade against a site hit is very difficult and has to be timed very well. Compared to a fade pool, it can last a lot shorter due to the pull-out time. Her wall, if placed in good timing, can be very strong. Yet, if it's placed right in front of 3 or more players who are rushing, it gets spammed down very quickly. Other than jump spotting, you might have to be forced to use initiate abilities just to get info for the Deadlock. Deadlock on attack really does not have a lot of purpose. Her stuns can't hold flank. The wall can't be thrown super far. The nade is only useful if it's perfectly thrown and you have a very good read. You could lurk, but where her wall is really strong is in post plants, so it's not advisable. Stuns are also pretty good for fast retake, but other than those 2 things, she's not really useful on attack. The best thing about Deadlock is her ult. It takes a lot of bullets to destroy the cocoon. It's also very funny to watch the enemy slowly move to their death. It's pretty strong, yet it's easy to dodge and requires a lot of ult points. You can't really just pick an agent purely based off their ult, particularly when it comes to a Sentinel. Due to a lack of confirmed info, it means there's another gripe with Deadlock. It feels like you have to have another Sentinel to make her more viable, but then you're sacrificing your attack side potential. So, how do you improve Deadlock as a Sentinel? I personally have some suggestions. Give Deadlock 2 times nades, and give the nade an additional effect. Make the wall remote activated, as well as the stuns, and the stuns will activate when a player walks past, not just based on sound. So let's first look at the possible changes to the nade. Giving Deadlock 2 nades allows for more stall potential on defense, and on attack can be used to clear more areas. Now for the effects, there are 4 possible effects that could be added to the nade: Suppress, Decay, Damage and Vulnerability. Personally, I think Suppress would be a great effect to add to the nade. Currently there's only 1 agent that can suppress players, KO. With the KO knife, it tells you how many people you've suppressed, and which agents are suppressed. Again, this helps in both attacking and defense scenarios. The Deadlock nade, on the other hand, could just tell you that you suppressed someone, but not who or how many. Again, this helps in both attack and defense scenarios. Decay and Vulnerability also seem like a good option, as it allows for better combo ability. Moving on to the change to the wall. which could get pretty cool. What I suggest is that the wall has less total health, but then has two functions. Pre-round, you can place it down, but can't move it during the rounds like a Cypher cage. This version of the wall will have less overall health, but can be activated remotely. The other way to use it is just like now. During the round you can throw it, it can be spammed down, but when it's fully up it has more health than the activated version. I feel this would allow for more variability in setups for defense. Now onto the stuns. There are two options I came up with. Either you place a stun so that this activates on any player movement, or you can place a stun and it's remote activated. So this means you have more skill towards the agent and allows for some great combo abilities. On post plants, again, this would be pretty strong, just to add some more variability to the gameplay. Last, let's look at her ult. Personally, I would like the ult to have the same ult points, because it's pretty strong, but the ult could have a faster time to kill, but the cocoon has less health points to balance it out a little bit. Not all these suggestions have to be added to make Deadlock better. Even one would be a very good improvement. Again, these are my ideas and they're not gospel, so take it as you will. I asked on a community post what would be the best way to fix Deadlock. Here's what the community suggested. Well, traps and ultimates are fine, if not strong. I think the nade should at least make you vulnerable, or do some small amount of damage upon removing it. Nothing too much, like 5 or 10 HP. If you ultimate someone, while the agent is pulled towards her, if Deadlock is killed, then the ultimate should finish then, and she should not be given the kill after she dies. Nerf the ultimate, lower the HP on the wall, maybe buff the sound traps, so she works better as a Sentinel, rather than just being used for OP ult and mediocre Sage Ward. Add more skill to the ultimate. The wall needs to be triggered with a little lower hitbox. The net should do more, and the sound sensors should also be triggered sensors, which, when triggered, the player is vulnerable. Deadlock has no use in ranked except for the walls. Nerf wall, ultimate, buff sound traps and nade. Nerf the time and the damage of the block ability and buff the sound traps. His traps suck. Thank you for watching my video all the way through. If you have any more suggestions for Deadlock, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoy the style of content, make sure you subscribe and check out my other videos.